بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون. فطر الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته ووتد بالصخور ميدان أرضه. ثم الصلاة والسلام على العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد صلى الله عليه وآله الطيبين الطاهرين وصحبه المنتجبين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله. اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. أما بعد، في هذا الشهر، شهر ربيع الأول، تكلمنا عن بعض المناسبات المهمة، منها مولد النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم ومولد الإمام الصادق عليه السلام. فمن المناسبات التي لم نتذكرها وليست أقل أهمية هي مناسبة هجرة النبي صلى الله عليه وآله من مكة المكرمة إلى المدينة المنورة. وقد أراد المسلمون أن يكون شهر محرم هو بداية العام الهجري، بينما حصلت الهجرة في شهر ربيع الأول. إن الله تعالى يحدثنا عن أجواء الهجرة في هذا الشهر ويقول: إذ يمكر بك الذين كفروا ليثبتوك أو يقتلوك أو يخرجوك ويمكرون ويمكر الله والله خير الماكرين. إنها نزلت في قصة دار الندوة، وهي دار قصي بن الكلاب، حيث اجتمع نفر من قريش ودرسوا الأساليب الثلاثة: الحبس أو النافية أو القتل. هذه الطرق الثلاثة في مواجهتهم مع النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. ولذلك أمر الله نبيه بالخروج من البلد، وعندها بدأت الهجرة من مكة إلى المدينة. وأراد صلى الله عليه وآله أن يبيت علي عليه السلام على فراشه، وأخبره بالخطر، ولكن لم يخف أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام أمام هذا الخطر، بل قال: أو تسلم يا رسول الله؟ قال: بلى. فقال أمير المؤمنين: إذن اذهب راشدا مهديا. فنزلت هذه الآية المباركة في شأن أمير المؤمنين: ومن الناس من يشري نفسه ابتغاء مرضات الله والله رؤوف بالعباد. كما نتعلم من آية الهجرة وأمثالها صمود النبي عليه السلام أمام كل عوامل الترغيب والترهيب والإيذاء والشتم والاضطهاد، ونتعلم صمود سهره ووسيه وأخيه علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام، الذي جاهد في سبيل الله في كل مراحل حياته، وبات على فراش النبي صلى الله عليه وآله بلا خوف ولا حزن. ونرى أن الطغاة والمستكبرين في كل الأزمنة والأعصار لجأوا ولا يزال يلتجئون إلى هذه الأساليب الثلاثة، وهي الحبس والنفي أو القتل، للقضاء على المصلحين وعلى الحركات التحررية، ولكنهم يفشلون عندما يواجهون إيمان الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا. عندما يواجهون أناس قال لهم الناس إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم فزادهم إيمانا وقالوا حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. نعم، إن النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وأصحابه هجروا إلى المدينة لأنهم وجدوا هناك مجالا للتبليغ والبيان، وجدوا في المدينة الحرية الدينية والسياسية والاجتماعية التي لم توجد في مكة، وهم استخدموا هذه الفرصة ليبلغوا القيم القرآنية والأخلاقية. ولذلك فإن أول عمل قام به رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله عندما وصل إلى المدينة كان بناء مسجد قباء، ثم مسجد النبي في داخل المدينة، وشارك المسلمون في بناء هذه المراكز لتكون منطلقا للوحدة والتعاون والعلم والعبادة وحركة الدعوة إلى الله والحوار مع أهل الكتاب، في قوله تعالى قل يا أهل الكتاب تعالوا إلى كلمة سواء بيننا وبينكم ألا نعبد إلا الله. ونحن نشكر الله سبحانه وتعالى الذي جعل هذه الدار دار الحكمة منبرا لخدمة الإسلام والمسلمين ومحلا للحوار مع غير المسلمين وخاصة المسيحيين، لأن الإسلام هو دين التعايش السلمي مع أتباع الأديان المختلفة. وإن من أسباب انتشار الإسلام السريع هو تبيعة هذا الدين السهلة والسمحة واعترافه بالأديان السماوية. نحن نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى النصر للإسلام، النصر للحقيقة والعدالة والحرية. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله أكرمه بالنبوة وجعله رحمة للعالمين. اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك، وصل على وصيه وأخيه أمير المؤمنين، وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين، وصلى على سبتي الرحمة الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة، وصلى على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف القائم المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا سقما إلا شفيته، ولا عيبا إلا سترته، ولا رزقا إلا بسطته، ولا خوفا إلا أمنته، ولا سوءا إلا صرفته، ولا حاجة هي لك الرضا فيها صلاح إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين. Last night I was navigating in my mind to finalize the subject for today. Out of all the activities and reading and studying during the week, now which direction to go? Then I heard the breaking news from CNN saying that yesterday the record of those infected by coronavirus was the highest. First time in this country that over 120,000 people in one single day were infected by this virus, which is very sad, and we pray for the suffering and should do everything we can to stay safe and healthy, inshallah. Then I said that this virus is harming our bodies, it's a physical disease. But if you want to find in a spiritual world what is it that is very harmful spiritually compared to corona, what is it really that hurts? Is it like alcohol? Is it adultery? Is it stealing? Is it arrogance? Is it jealousy? Because these are all sins. These are signs of sickness of soul to go through all these viruses. But then based on the Quran and Hadith, I notice that the worst virus for our soul, for our society, for humanity is the virus of kadhib, lying. Because the coronavirus, if we have mask and if we stay like 6 feet away, there's a big chance that we are protected. But when a mouth is full of microbe and it's breathing lying, that lies doesn't stop in 6 feet. Somebody may live in this area, and with this social media and all these means of communication, people may be affected millions feet from here. So this is a very dangerous epidemic, very dangerous infection disease called lying. And I was thinking about how this tongue, which is a gift from God, the greatest gift, وَعَلَّمْهُ الْبَيَانِ, can be a tool of terrorism. And I thought, at least I was thinking about the sins done by tongue, lisan. I just wrote 22 of them. If you want to count it by yourself, if I'm not mistaken, that it is a tool of terrorism. It can be a tool of threatening, gossiping, cursing, fear and hate mongering, a tool of blasphemy, tool of backbiting, a tool of angry expression, exaggeration, misinformation, false and foolish statements, evil whispering, a tool of deception, a tool of trash talks, malicious propaganda, insulting and attacking, dividing communities and nations, rumor mongering, sick statements, and ridiculous rhetoric. How many? Did anybody count? Now they are saying don't count the vote, but you can count these words that I mentioned. So 22, 3, 23. The Quran is telling us that it is impossible to be a faithful and be a liar. إنما يفتر الكذب الذين لا يؤمنون بآيات الله وأولئك هم الكاذبون. That means the liars have nothing to do with the Lord. The liars have no place in paradise. It says لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا كذابا. That means if somebody is كذاب, a liar, he cannot go to heaven either. In another verse, Quran says, فَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُكَذِّبِينَ. Those who deny the truth and they keep lying, go and see what happened to them. In Surah Al-Mursalat, there is one verse that is repeated 10 times. What is that verse? وَيْلٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلْمُكَذِّبِينَ. That on the day of judgment is just wow, it's shame. It's hell for those who lied a lot. This is why Imam Baqir alayhi salam is saying that إِنَّ اللَّهَ جَعَلَ لِلشَّرِّ أَقْفَالًا وَجَعَلَ فَاتِيحًا تلك الأقوال الشراب والكذب شر من الشراب. That liquor is evil because people they drink alcohol and then they drive and then they have accident and then they kill people and they have problem in the family because of the alcohol and they problem evil. But Imam Baqir alayhi salam is saying that lying is even worse than liquor. Alcohol is evil, but to lie is even worse than alcohol. Al-kidhbu shaynul lisan wa shaynul akhlaq. That is a shame for the tongue that's supposed to tell the truth, to be used as a tool of tahrif, terrorism, and denying and lying. Al-kidhbu fasadu kulli shay. That is a corruption on everything. Lying corrupts. Lying destroys. لا يجد عبد طعم الإيمان حتى يترك الكذب. The only way that someone can taste the joy of faith is to stop lying. A person came to the Holy Prophet and said, I'm a sinner, Ya Rasulullah, help me. I drink alcohol, I do adultery, I do stealing, and I lie a lot. And I cannot stop all these sins in one time. Tell me just which one, if I want to stop any of all these sins, which one to stop and which one I can start with. The Prophet said, La takzib, don't lie. I said, well, that is easy. So I can still drink and I can still, do adultery and still can steal, but I don't lie. But then when he left the Prophet, he thought about it, said, no. So now if I steal and somebody asks me, what did you do? If I tell the truth, I am in trouble. And if I lie, then I promise not to lie. The same thing about adultery. The same thing about any other sins that I used to do. I drink alcohol. Somebody said, what did you drink? And if I say I drank alcohol, embarrass myself. And if I lie, then I actually betrayed my promise. I cannot do that. So the person had to stop all the sins because he promised to stop lying. And the worst kind of lying, brothers and sisters, the Quran says, the worst lies is this. فَمَنْ أَظْلَمْ مِمَّنْ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا لِيُضِلَّ النَّاسَ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. The worst of liars are the ones who lie in the name of God. لِيُضِلَّ النَّاسِ. They mention the name of God to fool people. They mention the Bible. The president had the Bible and have a picture with his Bible in front of that church in Washington, D.C. It's just to, I follow the Bible. And some Muslims do the same thing. Ben Salman can take a Quran and say, oh, this is Quran, and I follow this Quran, and I, serve the Haramain Sharifain. So these people who lie in the name of religion, in the name of Bible, in the name of Quran, in the name of God or Prophet, these are adlam. These are the most oppressive people because they lie in the name of God. They are doing it against God. This is why Imam Sadiq said, مَا بَعَثَ اللَّهُ نَبِيًّا قَطُّ إِلَّا بِالصِّدْقِ الْحَدِيثِ وَأَدَاءِ الْأَمَانَةِ وَالْوَفَاءُ بِالْعَهْدِ. Every prophet who came, the first thing they said, don't lie. Abraham said it, Moses said it, Jesus said don't lie, Muhammad said don't lie, Moses said don't lie, Abraham said don't lie. They start بِالصِّدْقِ الْحَدِيثِ, inviting people to tell the truth. They told us النجاة في الصدق, النجاة مع الصدق, الصدق روح الكلام. Honesty is the spirit of your words. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين. Stay with the honest, stay with the truthful, those who are telling the truth. Unfortunately, we don't have too many those leaders to say كونوا مع الصادقين. When we deal with the politicians, most of them lie, we know that. Doesn't matter Republican or Democrat or in America or in Asia or Europe or Middle East or Muslim countries, Arab countries. Anywhere you see politicians, many of them lie. Clinton did it, Bush did it, right? He said that weapon of mass destruction in Iraq. The biggest war and millions of people destroyed with one lie. Weapon of mass destruction. That was a lie. But despite all of this, I don't think, based on what we witnessed in the last 4 years and fact-checkings, President Trump was the one who broke the record. From day number 1 of entering the White House till now that he may leave the White House in 2-3 months, he started from saying that, I had the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration. He said that, I have more people than Obama. That was the first line. Until like 2 nights ago, even this morning. This is something, brothers and sisters, the epidemic of the pandemic of lying is more destructive and a worse infection disease that the corona that in one single day infected 120,000 people, because lies can infect millions and millions of people all over the world. And the social distance doesn't stop that. Mask doesn't stop that. That is a dangerous disease. When they said, stop counting the vote. It's fraud. I mean, if you think it's a fraud, they have to count it to know it's fraud or not. I mean, how they know it is fraud if they stop counting it? One of the biggest lies that ever, that he said, I never lied. It's interesting. This is the biggest one, that I never lied. Despite the fact that they are counting, like Washington Post, over 20,000 times. So, not only that, we see that this infection then covered some other people that they support this kind of politics. I heard Pat Robertson, probably you heard, just a while ago, he was saying that Trump is going to win this election, but in 5 years, an asteroid is coming from the sky and destroy the earth. And with that, the mission of Jesus is fulfilled. My goodness. And he said, God told me. Wow, how God chose, like Pat Robertson and all of these 7-8 billion people on this planet. What about him that's so special that God chose him to speak with? And now he says he's going to win. We don't know yet, most probably not. And then in 5 years is not enough all the violence on the earth. Now he is saying violence is coming from the sky too. And it's interesting, these liars, this is another lie, because God told me so. Now either God is lying or Pat Robertson is lying here, because we know what's going on. Or this guy, this Steve Bannon, that probably you heard, it was even on the social media yesterday, that he said that the next term of Trump should start with hanging the head of that Dr. Fauci and the head of FBI. He said that they have to be beheaded and their head should be on the top of the White House to be a warning for everybody. And he said that in his podcast, in his radio station. Can you imagine if you say such a thing or I say such a thing? Probably FBI or somebody is going to arrest us right away, that you were threatening of beheading somebody. And this is why, at this situation, brothers and sisters, we should be very careful of what is going on of this violence. You just heard that Jordanian family in Nevada, that this poor lady and her son and the worker, they are American citizens and they are Christian. They are part of the Catholic Church in Nevada, and they were killed by their neighbors right after the election. And I heard some people on the social media are saying that the guy, the killer, was so angry of the fate of the election that he killed these people because they are immigrants, because they are Jordanian. I'm not 100% sure of the details yet, but this is what was in the media. So this is how the sickness of a sinful tongue and lying can bring so much corruption, so much disease, so much division, so much hate, so much violence and terrorism all over, because somebody is angry. But with what is going on, brothers and sisters, we already saw in Michigan, and now the result of the election would be announced today or tomorrow, the final result. But we see the process in a way that we may feel proud again of this country. That the United States, in spite of all the frustration and disappointment, still this is a land of opportunity. Yes, things are getting dangerous, things getting frustrating. But can you imagine now if Joe Biden goes to the White House and this Harris, and the vice president, she is a lady, she is black, and she is coming from an immigrant parents. Despite of 4 years of propaganda against immigrants, against minorities, against Muslims, against others, what does that tell you? Is Kamala becomes the vice president of the United States, win the White House. This shows the greatness of this country. That your age, your gender, your nationality, your language, your faith don't matter. If you work hard, if you get engaged, if you take advantage of opportunities. Joe Biden himself, how old is he? 77 years old, right? That means that don't worry, if you are 77 years old, still you can win the White House. Your age doesn't stop you. That was a dream for Biden for a long, long time. And his dream became truth because he was consistent on that. That means that if you stay consistent, especially our generation, get engaged and involved, nothing can stop you. So America was really embarrassed even these days. Not only American citizen, but we heard like people in Lebanon, in Iraq, in Iran. They were embarrassed for America of what was going on. But there are so many things to be proud of this country. There is people like Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln. There are so many figures, so many things that can inspire for us and for young generation. And this is why, brothers and sisters, Muslim community, we should. I was talking with a Canadian radio station 2 nights ago. And he said, what you as Muslim community expect from the new president, whoever the new president? And I said, we don't expect anything just for Muslim community. If I be the president, like a new president, and say, what do you want? I'm going to ask that, how many people from Arab community are going to hire? How many people from Muslim community are you going to hire? I want him to hire qualified people, be Muslim or non-Muslim, Arab or not Arab. We're looking for principles, we're looking for values. We are not looking for nationalities and rank and language and this kind of thing. We are asking as Muslim community that Stand for justice for everyone, whether it's Muslim or non-Muslim. Freedom of expression for everyone. Respect human rights, every human. Be responsible, talk with responsibility, honor everyone. Have no racism for anyone, no hatred for anyone, no discrimination for anyone. For unity, we are for peace, we are for love, we are for compassion. We are with justice and truth. That's what we want as a Muslim community. That is what our religion is talking about. We are not looking for something special. But there are people that they have different ideology. Like, I mean, you listen to Trump, he's getting angry and he just talks out of anger, thinks that nonsense. How can you say that? His son was saying, talking to Republicans, say, don't be like sheep. My goodness, if anybody else tell Republicans, you remember Clinton one time, she said something so light, and there was a big propaganda that she insulted them. Now the son of president is saying that our voters will never forget if you are like sheep. And he was talking with Republicans, that you are not supporting. What do you mean supporting? You want them to get a gun and come and kill everybody? I mean, everybody goes and voting. And that's how everybody supports. And at the end, if anybody brought the majority, doesn't necessarily mean somebody who al-haq, because got the majority, but that is the way it works anyway. What else we can do? Now, the election goes by vote, right or wrong, majority right or majority wrong, but majority is majority. That is the process. There is no any alternative that we can. But you cannot have your cake and eat it too. In certain stop counting, in certain instances continue counting. If it works for you, continue. If you are in danger of losing, stop it. It doesn't work. That one day discouraging people from voting, and when they come and they vote, discouraging them from counting. But at the end, brothers and sisters, what we learn, alhamdulillah alladhi يرفع المستضعفين ويدع المستكبرين ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. He just gives space for people to breathe and get energized and continue this life. يذهبكم أيها الناس. Quran is talking. يشاء يذهبكم أيها الناس ويأتي بآخرين وكان الله على ذلك قديرا. It is possible for God that take one group and bring another group and help us to continue this way. So remember, to lie is the worst sin, is the worst sign of sickness of soul. And the tongue can be a tool of telling the truth or telling lie. And one thing that we have to tell our children, don't lie. That is the most important advice for our children. In our house, I am telling children, I said, Baba, if you ever saw your dad lie to you, you come and charge me $20. I pay you $20. If you ever saw me, I'm lying to you. They need to learn, never lie. Because you never know if your son, my son, our daughters, tomorrow if they are in Congress, they are in judiciary, they are in the White House, they are in the City Hall, they are in a city council, they are a mayor, they are in business, they are teaching university, they are anywhere. They should carry the values that they never lie, This is a dangerous disease, and we learn a lot about this in the last 4 years. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. I want to conclude by saying that, as you know, this year of 2020, House of Wisdom continued its services. We continued our education. We never stopped, whether in person or Zooming, online, Facebook. We continued the food distribution. We continued our interfaith and outreach. We continued every service that we had and even more. But at the same time, we could not have fundraising. Every year, as you remember, we used to have 2 fundraising. This year, we didn't have either. So we didn't bother you with tickets. We didn't bother anybody with inviting to the dinner. But we are planning to have an online fundraising next week. But you don't have to wait for next week. Those of you who are here and brothers and sisters who watch this sermon online, we like to ask everyone to continue your service. If you can increase your support for the services of Islamic House of Wisdom, because everything that you may think and we can do, we are doing it. Every service, as I said, whether it's education and interfaith and taking care of the families and those who are suffering and those who are in emergency situation, they are going to court, they are going to confusion in their life, and they all come to House of Wisdom, and we do whatever we can to help everyone. And remember that your donation can be considered as Sahmul Imam. So when you divide your homes, that 50% that is Sahmul Imam, you can help Islamic House of Wisdom with Sahmul Imam with your homes. We are allowed to do that. And even if we didn't have all this permission that you see at the door interest, it was very obvious that the homes is for the kind of work that we are doing. And as you see that we are everywhere, whether it's downtown Detroit or downtown Washington, D.C., or in the media, anywhere that Muslim community needed representation for somebody to take risk and responsibility and go there to represent us and telling the truth, House of Wisdom is doing that. You can support House of Wisdom with your credit card, with cash, with check. You can do it after the Salat, you can do it later, you can do it online. So either way, Allah bless you for your support, that we were not able to do what we did without your support. May Allah reward you and bless you with barakah and health and wealth and wisdom. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات وتابع بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك على كل شيء قدير. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. وأن عليا ولي الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. سووا صفوفكم واعتدلوا. Please, lines in order with distance from one another, and please silence your cell phone. No cell phone في أثناء الصلاة. إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم. هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين. وآخرين لما يلحقوا بهم وهو العزيز الحكيم. ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم. مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا بئس مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. قل يا أيها الذين هادوا إن زعمتم أنكم أولياء لله من دون الناس فتمنوا الموت إن كنتم صادقين ولا يتمنونه أبدا بما قدمت أيديهم والله عليم بالظالمين. قل إن الموت الذي تفرون منه فإنه ملاقيكم ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. وإذا رأوا تجارة أو لهوا انفضوا إليها وتركوك قائما قل ما عند الله خير من اللهو ومن التجارة والله خير الرازقين. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم أنت المسبح في كل مكان والمعبود في كل زمان والموجود في كل أوان والمدعو بكل لسان والمعظم في كل جنان. الله إني أستغفرك من كل لذة بغير ذكرك ومن كل راحة بغير أنسك ومن كل سرور بغير قربك ومن كل شغل بغير طاعتك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها. قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها. كذبت ثمود بتقواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. يا ولي العافية أسألك العافية عافية الدنيا والآخرة يا أرحم الراحمين. الله أكبر. بسم الله وبالله والحمد لله وخير الأسماء لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. يا من يقدر على حوائج السائلين ويعلم ما في ضمير الصامتين. يا من لا يحتاج إلى تفسير. يا من يعلم خائنة الأعين وما تخفي الصدور. يا من أنزل العذاب على قوم يونس دعوه وتضرعوا إليه فكشف عنهم العذاب متعهم إلى حين. قد ترى مكاني وتسمع دعائي وتعلم علانيتي وسر وحالي. صل على محمد وآل محمد واكفني ما أهمني من أمر ديني ودنياي وآخرتي برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أحسنت أحسنت brother. Just a few announcements. A good news is that we continue that whose studies that we started last year. But now the good news is that we have some asatid from Qum al-Muqaddasa that they are ready to do the studies on Zoom. Because now even if you are in Qum, it's not in person that much. Everybody is online. So whether you are here or there, the same teachers and the same teachings. So there are some ustads, some scholars in Qum that they are ready to teach fiqh, jurisprudence and aqaid al-Islamiyya, aqaid al-Shi'ia, al-adabiyat, Arabic literature. So if you are interested, please let us know and put your name there. So they start the procedure, and it's not expensive. It's very, very modest and humble cost, but the point is that it's really deep discussion and a good process studies. It doesn't have to become a sheikh. Oh, I'm not going to become a sheikh. Why? It's not about becoming sheikh or not. It's about the wealth of knowledge that we learn from this experience. Let us also say Surah Al-Hamd, Lishifa Hajj Sami. I just learned that Hajj Sami Asi, she used to come to Friday prayer almost every Friday, and I haven't seen her for a while, and I heard that she was very sick and she had to go to her surgery, but alhamdulillah she's improving. And also I just heard about Hajj Dalal Saad, the Zawjat Habibna Hajj Farid Saad, that I sent a message today. I heard that she had a car accident and she's in the hospital. So let us say dua and Surah Al-Hamd, Hajj Sami and Hajj Dalal Saad, بعد الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Also, we keep our brother Habibna Haj Abu Muhammad, Dr. Reda Khalisi in our prayer. I heard that he is doing better, alhamdulillah, but we keep. He's here, Hajj. He made it today, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So we miss him, alhamdulillah. Our prayer was answered then. That's good. That Allah answered even my prayer, our prayer. So that is a good news. So Brother David said that for the food distribution, every family, please take at least for 3 families that you know with you. So alhamdulillah, this service continue. I think we missed one of the orders today, but still there are some, and he emphasized that every family can pick up. Brother Hassan, did they bring the other ones? Everything like, okay. So we have everything, and please pick up as much as you can, at least for 3 families, and sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله وأن عليا ولي الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله